free surgeries. He initiated Periyar training camp at Kuttalam before 48 years. That Periyar training camp continues today itself. Every year in June or July, a 4 or 5 days special camp is being conducted by Dravidian and Aryan. That wonderful training camp was initiated by him, and he is familiarly known for his wonderful slogans in our processions, and his classes about superstitions and medical advancements in our training camps will be received very well by our students. So this is a pleasant surprise for us. We invited him to chair this session. He accepted that. So I would like to welcome him on behalf of FIRA and Rationalist Forum. And our beloved Dr. R. Gaudaman will preside this session now.
Dance nalla irundha. Dear friends, good afternoon. I am Dr. Gaudaman. I was the retired head of the department, Government of Tamil Nadu Medical Services, and still I am practicing. I am 75 years old. And my dear friends, I stand before you as a doctor. It is because of the Dravidian movement. In 1920s, about 100 years back, we cannot get medical degrees because only Brahmins are entitled to have medical degrees, because we have to do Sanskrit as a language and we have to pass Sanskrit. Only Brahmins know Sanskrit, and in 1920s, we are not entitled to have even school educations. In those days, there is no schools, only Gurukulas, and Gurukulas will give education only to Brahmins. So no non-Brahmin, irrespective of the caste or irrespective of the religion, they cannot get medical education. Only in 1920, Ramaraya Ningar, who was the Premier of Madras Presidency, had broken the rule and gave a chance for us to enter inside the medical colleges. So out of thousands and thousands of doctors who were got educated in Tamil Nadu is the blessing of Dravidian movement. Unless Dravidian movement is not there, we cannot enter even the medical colleges. Now, my Prince, Mr. Prince has introduced me that I have done many surgeries. I have done nearly 10,000 facial surgeries in government institutions. Out of 10,000 facial surgeries, I have done more than 6,000 facial surgeries free of cost for the poor patients. It's all, the clapping is not for myself, it's all for him. Unless otherwise, Periyar is not there, we cannot enter in the medical college, we cannot get graduated. ஊரில் நான் வந்து மாடு மேய்ச்சிக்கிட்டு கோமணம் கட்டிக்கிட்டு விவசாயம் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு தான் இருந்திருக்கணும். I have to do agriculture job. So all these things have broken, and we made a biggest revolution in Tamil Nadu. It's because of Dravidian movement, our beloved Periyar, our beloved Kalainer, our beloved Stalin, and our beloved Asiriyar. So I am very grateful to them, and this session is having 15 speakers. So I want to concise my speech, and I thank you to be here with you at this hard afternoon after a good chicken biryani. Anyway, thank you very much. All the best.
Paper presentation starts from now. The first person going to present the paper. All these papers, 4 sessions were held on various topics. The remaining papers will also be presented in any one of the topics of the relevant session. First, I invite an Anbumani Rationalist Forum, Tamil Nadu. I request all the paper presenter to tell the title of the paper first and present in a brief manner, so that for paucity of the time we have to complete the program. They need not read out all the contents of the paper prepared by them. What is the substance? What is the message they want to convey? If they restrict to that level, that is sufficient. Maximum they can take 5 minutes, exceeding that 2 or 3 minutes. With that, we request them, all the paper presenter, to stick on the time limit prescribed for them. I request an Anbumani to present the paper.
My greetings to all the rationalists gathered here and our black set comrades and all the dignitaries in the dais and all the dignitaries outside the dais. I thank our dignitable patron, Asiriya Dr. K.Veeramani, and FIRA President Professor Narendra Nayak for this opportunity. Slide therida? Okay. Next slide. My title of the paper is Women and Superstitions. In 1997, Amartya Sen, a great economist, he prescribed a report. In that report, he emphasized the empowerment of women in the 2 criteria. The first one is control over resources, and the second one is control over ideologies, beliefs, and values. Next slide. There are certain factors which facilitate the woman empowerment. First one is freedom. Women must have the freedom to take important decisions in their life. For example, up to which level they have to study, or when to marry, or whom to marry, and how many children they want to have. All these freedoms they must have. Then women must be stronger in educational, economical, political, and administrative powers. Next slide. In the society, women face lot of issues from birth to death. Here are some of the issues they face, from the female foeticide to the violence and the crime against workplace. They are facing lot of issues. Next slide. There are some of our constitution provides lot of privileges to us. There are some constitutional provides that support women. They are Article 14, Article 15, Article 15.3, and Article 16.3, Article 39D, Article 42, and Article 73rd and 74th Amendment. These are some of the constitutional provisions which facilitate women and support women. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. There are some legislational acts which support women. Some of them are Dowry Prohibition Act, Domestic Violence Act, and the Sexual Harassment and the Prohibition of Sexual Harassment at Workplace Act, Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace Act. Next slide. Superstitions. When we talk about superstitions, superstitions are belief that cannot be explained by science or reason. This is the definition of superstition. When we think about the situation of Tamil Nadu, before Tandai Periyar and self-respect movement, women don't even imagine about their education and career. Due to the works of Tandai Periyar and our patron, Dr. K.Veeramani, women have lot of welfare schemes due to our Tamil Nadu governments, and our Honorable Chief Minister recently announced the schemes like 1,000 rupees scholarship for housewives and 1,000 rupees scholarship for rural background women who pursue higher education. And there are lot of schemes for widows and widows remarriages. In the earlier session, our Honorable Minister defined all the schemes they are implementing due to the Periyar thoughts and our works of our pattern. When we talk about superstitions, our grandmothers played a lot of roles. Some grandmothers are exceptional, like grandmothers are in the Rationalist Forum. For the ages, women felt insecure and they need safety. When they are feeling insecure and need safety, grandmothers used to say, your birth charts are like that. You have to see this astrologer. You have to see this monk. You have to read these holy books. That's all they have to say, and brainwashing younger women. But due to the works of Periyar and self-respect movement and other rationalist movements in other states, nowadays younger women are asking questions to our grandmothers which even they don't imagine. Nowadays also, when we talk about women and superstitions, we saw a lot of our grandmothers and old people and other women who treat untouchables, other women especially in the time of their periods and menstrual cycle. This is utter stupidity. That's why Periyar demolishes the concept of purity. That's why Periyar demolishes the concept of superstitions against women. That's why Periyar asked all the women to cut their hairs and develop their physical health like men. And that's why Periyar condemning the concept of ornament wearing. And they are the women are like birth giving machines for men for the ages. These are Periyar condemning all these due to the purity and the superstitions they developed against women. That's why Periyar wrote detailing all these concepts in the book are why women are enslaved. When we are educating women with Periyar thoughts, like these constitutional provisions and legislational acts, women never feel insecure and they are neither need safety. But right-wing people don't like this. They always want to put women in an insecure feeling, and they always ask women to need safety from them. So they always telling like this, So they are propagating the modern grandmother thoughts via social media, cinema, and in other forms of arts. We rationalists from other various organizations, we should make more films, arts, films, and books in other forms against superstitions. Long live Thandai Periyar, long live Annai Maniyammayar, long live Asiriyar Veeramani, long live rationalism, long live FIRA, long live Ambedkar, long live Bhagat Singh, long live Narayana Guru, long live Jyotirao Phule, long live Savitribai Phule, long live Sahu Maharaj, long live Tabolkar, long live Govind Pansare, long live Gauri Lankesh. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thandai Periyar, like everybody, have two eyes. One eye is for social justice and the other eye is for gender justice. The speaker, now spoken, Mr. Anbumani, had talked about the gender justice, which Periyar did. You can see half of the crowd is ladies in this August gathering. It's because of Periyar had seeded us. I request Mr. Ilavarasi Sankar from Puducherry to come and give our ideas.
Vanakkam. Good afternoon, everybody. I am V. Ilavarasi Shankar, working as private secretary in JIPMER, Puducherry. I thank all the FIRA office bearers for giving me this golden opportunity to present my paper on women and superstition in front of you all in this forum. My special thanks to all the friends and relatives who have come from out of Tamil Nadu. मैं इलावरसी जिपमर पुदुचेरी में काम कर रही हूँ. Thank you. Women and superstitions, breaking the chains, empowering women to overcome superstition and protect future generations. This article is about women and superstitions. I firmly say, believing that there is God, He is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent is itself a superstitious belief. We cannot point out a particular religion or a particular caste. Generally, those who have faith in God and religion blindly believe that everything happens because of some supernatural power by keeping aside their knowledge in science. This paper speaks especially about how women are pushed into the superstitious belief and how to bring them out. Mothers commit human sacrifice. Next slide. Mothers commit human sacrifice. The whole world believes that nothing can be equal to mother's pure love. But being a mother, I feel ashamed to share this message which I read in newspaper to others. I was totally upset when I came across a news about a Muslim mother in Kerala sacrificed her own 6-year-old son because children are vulnerable to this type of superstitious practices. This is being done under the cover of religion with the so-called support of the right to freedom and faith in God and goddesses. But it stands as a bad example to other people, those who are superstitious, and it is detrimental to the society. Is a girl's menstrual period defilement? Yes. Is it? It is called as Theetu in Tamil. It is believed that the menstruating woman is impure, dirty, or cursed. She is separated for those 3 days. She is separated for those 3 days. A menstruating woman is shedding the egg that can result in the conception of a new life in her womb. It is a physiological change, and it is a sign of a matured woman, and she is physically capable of reproduction. The word defilement, that is Theetu in Tamil, deeply hurts a woman in many ways. If a girl's menstrual period is considered as defilement, how can a child be treated as most precious? If a woman's periods is treated as defilement, how can a child be treated as most precious? This is my question. During cyclone, a few years back, a village near Tanjore was a girl from village near Tanjore was separated and left alone in a hut near the paddy field, which was away from her house for those 3 days, as she had menstrual cycle and died because she was hit by the cyclone as she was left alone. How horrible an unwanted superstitious belief swallowed a girl's life. How horrible an unwanted superstitious belief swallowed a girl's life. At the same time, in this high-tech world, we have to think of wealthy parents who foolishly spend lakhs and lakhs of money in celebrating their daughter's puberty ceremony. Pregnant women and solar eclipse. So, scientists say that solar eclipse occur when the moon comes in between the earth and the sun, and when all 3 objects are aligned in a straight line. But mythically, there is a fable that the serpent who swallows the sun, by which the sunlight gets masked. And my next topic is, subtitle is Women with Ghosts and Evil Spirits. Here, many women are tortured physically and mentally by the name of ghosts and evil spirits. I hope you all know Mohini Pisasu does not have legs, but I have legs because I am the Princess Ilavarasi. Most of the literate and illiterate people follow the directions of God men on God women before making arrangements even for a small function in their house. They consult soothsayers, witchcrafts, scrollers, astrologers, numerologists. And my next question is, why the wedlock is only for women? Why the wedlock is only for women? Women feel happy when a rope, that is turmeric smeared cord or gold chain, is sewn around her neck. And my next subtitle is Sumangali Puja and Karadaya Nombu. My question is, have you seen any husbands conduct a special puja to extend the lifetime of any wife? Have you seen? I have never seen, and I feel ashamed of women who are practicing special pujas to extend their husband's lifetime. Eating food from the sand floor to become pregnant, is it foolish or not? They eat food from the floor, open sand floor, to become pregnant. Everybody knows that how a woman become pregnant. Foolishly, they practice all these things. Women and black magic is also practiced and believed 100%. Thank you. I conclude my speech, I conclude my presentation with we all, the rationalists, must put our hands together to make the public aware of Article 51AH of our Constitution, which says it is the fundamental duty of every citizen to develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry. Thank you, inquiry and reform. Thank you very much.
if we give chance to ladies, they don't leave the platform. Many of us has experienced it. Today we are experiencing this. Okay, anyway, always, you see, the payee, spirits, all comes only on ladies, not on gents. That's what she has emphasized. Anyway, thank you very much, Ilavarasi. And I call Mrs. Parveen Rathi from Haryana. Oh, sorry, Mr. Parveen Rathi.
Good afternoon to all. Honorable Chairperson, FIRA, advisors, convener, chief organizers, and all dignitaries and citizens present in the conference, a very respectful and warm welcome on behalf of International School of Humanitarian Thoughts and Practice, Kurukshetra, Haryana. I, Parveen Rathi, representative of the Manavtavadi Vishwa Sansthan, Rajghat, Kurukshetra, present my paper on the letter and spirit of Article 51AH of Indian Constitution. As Constitution of India allows us to live all citizens in a secular mode so that we can live happily together and in a lovable mode, but this can only be possible if we increases our inquisition or questioning ability of our brain. Only then we are able to take care of emotional fulfillments of other persons. As we know that we are divided in different sects, groups, religions, and due to our different behavioral habits, we dislike each other. But if we are of rational and positive emotional temperament, then our inquisition will be high and we will try to help each other and develop compassion and empathy with other group systems. Only then we will be able to lead a peaceful, helpful and lovable society forever. Moreover, as we know that our society is progressing and influenced by newer scientific developments regularly may it be in different fields like artificial intelligence, robotics, remote sensing, genetics, and other medical research departments, but those can only be useful and beneficial for the society if they are used by taking care of emotional and moral aspects of the human beings. For this, we must essentially require to develop a national level institute where human and moral values be nurtured and developed so that people cooperate for coexistence. Secondly, my point is, I would like to highlight my point on the social equality, humanism, and scientific temperament. To develop a healthy and disparity-less society, nation has to fulfill the common basic needs of every human being, that is food, healthy food, good clothing, sound shelter, and a full security to everyone. So, and it must be given in a free mode as given by the trees and any plant world to all human beings that come in touch of them. So we should take a lesson from the trees and give our services free. We must give our services free and in a selfless attitude back to the society to keep this society healthy, lovable and positive. But what we see around us, we find that the natural resources, best natural resources and the scientific developments, they are captured by the powerful persons, and the weaker and the poorer ones, they are deprived, neglected by even the basic needs of the life, that is the food, healthy shelter and sound clothing, and they are being exploited throughout their whole life for the struggle of these basic four things: food, shelter, clothing and security. But what natural environment teaches us, the natural environment teaches us the animal and the plant world in which our generations does not teach like this partial and selfish behavior. So if we want to develop a healthier society, then we should think over it and try to develop a social environment in which cooperation for coexistence be there, and there should be no fool making, blackmailing and exploitation. Only then we can travel our journey, life journey in a humanistic way. If the presence of fool making of one group system, blackmailing of one group system and exploitation is there, then we are not going to fulfill the objective of scientific development positively for the betterment of society. So we should think over it, and if we want to, my humble request to all the participants coming from different groups, different societal groups, that if we want to see this world sane, unjust and borderless, then we should come together on one platform, and first of all we try to develop the basic human needs, and moreover the human and enhancement of human and moral values among them. So for this I need your kind support and participation to be a part of Manavtavadi Vishwa Sansthan. We are conducting various exhibition programs, educational programs at our place. You can come, all are welcome, and come to our place and see how the transformation takes place. So
Time
many
out, sir.
thanks for listening my words and giving me the opportunity to speak. Many thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Praveen Rathe from Haryana, and thank you very much for your invitation to invite us to Haryana. You see, always there are Ambanis and Adanis who cornered all the resources, and the poor is always poor, and the rich is always more richer. That is the dictum of our nation on today's scenario. That's why it has to be distributed to every one of us. அதனால தான் திராவிட இயக்கம் அனைவருக்கும் அனைத்தும் என்று முக்கியமாக சொல்லிக் கொண்டிருக்கிறது. Every resource is for everything is our motive of our rationalist forum. Thank you very much, sir. I call Ms. J. Vasigi of Tamil Nadu. She is not here. Okay. I call Mr. K. Somasundaram of Tamil Nadu. Please.
Actually, the Periyar's public life started in 1919. That may be known to you all. When he was entering into the Congress, the Nirman plan means to achieve the independence through Gandhi. So the Nirman plan includes waiver of untouchability, prohibition of alcohol, court prohibition, and qadar making by hand thread making, and then qadar making. Like that it was. But Periyar was the true follower. He even himself told he was pained for carrying the cotton, Kadar cloths. But he never ashamed to do this thing. Like this, he was a true follower of Gandhi that time. But non-cooperative movement was, even though it was in Congress itself, there was a group of people who formed Swarajya Party. They told within Congress we will form Swarajya Party and participate in the elections conducted by the British government. So they told they will insist, they will go to the assemblies or parliament, whatever. They will insist this Gandhi's non-cooperative movement and other things. But they were not doing so. This was observed by Periyar. After observing this, he was thinking that these people are bluffing us. So what he was thinking, even in Swarajya Party itself, there was a difference. Say, for example, Siddharanjan Das from Bengal, he was insisting, the Maharashtra people were, Swarajya Party, they were insisting to remove the Gandhi. But Siddharanjan Das was insisting, within the Swarajya Party, he was telling that, you please implement Gandhi's non-cooperative movement, like that, these things. But within the Swarajya Party itself, the difference was that Periyar was observing. These are all the Periyar's views he was observing. And even this educated people, they were supporting pro-British Swaraj, like that only. They should voluntarily give, like that they told. Even Indian autonomy bill, which is forwarded by Annie Besant also, Annie Besant was telling that you don't oppose the British government. That is what Annie Besant also told. That means these people, they were hiding. They need autonomy, Indian autonomy, only by voluntarily should be given by the British government. But this finally they only left the India. They achieved the target. The thing is, in Patna Congress, 1925, Gandhi was compelled to surrender the CWC, Congress Working Committee, that time itself. All the Congress Working Committee members nominated all are Swarajya Party only. Swarajya Party, I am telling about the Swarajya Party with group of people.
1 more minute.
Yeah. So the thing is, 22-9 from onwards, Periyar was thinking that even Gandhi told those who are not interested, they can leave the Congress, like that. So when Periyar was thinking that Gandhi, when Gandhi himself is telling like that, we have to leave, like that he was thinking. He was, by the time, he was also supporting this representation of people, that means the people's, he was having the mind, even Gandhi also was having the mind. Layman people should be developed. Until they are developed, they are coming up, nothing will be happened, even in independence India, like that. Even if independent, we got it, like that he was telling. But in Patna Congress, 22-9-1925, he surrendered everything to the group of people who have formed Swaraj Party. So after the Swaraj Party surrendering, these people were doing against the principle of Gandhi's thing. So Gandhi also was with them. Then Periyar left the Congress by 1925, the November itself.
Time out,
After
sir.
leaving the Congress, he was his preaching, the self-respect movement was growing. When it is growing, this group of people who are in Congress, they observed to mediate with Gandhi in Mysore. When they have the mediation with the Gandhi, there was a talk between Gandhi and Periyar. Periyar finally told there are three things to be corrected. Until that is corrected, we cannot achieve anything. Like that he was telling. The thing is, one is, Periyar proposed that until the following these works done by, there is no real independence to our company, to our country, sorry. Congress, INC, dominated by Swarajya Party to be dismantled and caste to be eradicated for the For that, Hindu religion should be reformed. Third one is Brahminocracy to be eradicated. So these three things proposed by Periyar to Gandhi and left to Mysore. These are all the things
Please conclude,
for his
sir.
reason to start the self-respect movement. Even before his life itself, yesterday somebody talked a lot of things about his family itself. From there is no date can be fixed, but we are celebrating 1925 from leaving the Congress as the date for the self-respect movement starting like that. That's why we are celebrating now this year as centenary of Periyar's self-respect movement. Thank you very much for allowing us.
I am sorry, I get back my word. Even the gents are also like that. If we give time, they don't allow us to leave. Anyway, thank you very much. Thandai Periyar has lost crores and crores of money on these days' account. He closed his mandi business, which gives him 20,000 rupees per month. On those days, the gold price is 10 rupees per sovereign. 10 rupees per sovereign. At that time, he has given 20,000 rupees of his business and came to Congress. But the Congress didn't respect him for his, he did all the things for the social justice. He had put a condition that only if social justice is going to be implemented, I will come and join in Congress. But the Congress promised in the beginning, which never did it on those days. So after 1919, he joined in Congress, and 1925, he left the Congress. As our friend, Mr. Somasundaram said, he had cut nearly 2,000 trees of coconut trees, and he took khadi on his shoulder and went street to street and sold the khadi. All those sacrifices he did in spite of his richness. But unfortunately, his service, the Congress didn't utilize. Now, Rahul Gandhi has implemented all those things which Periyar demanded on that day after 100 years. After 100 years. This all happened in 1925. In 2025, Congress has come to the Periyar's way. That is the success of rationalism. Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Somasundaram. I call Mr. Sibiraj of Tamil Nadu to come and present his paper.
A warm good afternoon to everyone. And this is Sibiraj, a member of DMK Legal Wing. And I'm just an advocate practicing in High Court of Madras. My topic is about impact of 3 new criminal laws on activist, rationalist and citizen. In English there is a proverb that don't judge a book by its cover. This fascist BJP government made propaganda that they are going to replace British colonial era rules. But the wholesome rules made in the British period are not followed after independence. IPC was 73 times amended and the evidence was 26 times. And even in 1973, new CRP was taken up and it was also amended for 18 times. But here they made a statement that they are going to replace the British colonial era rules. But in addition to that, only 80% of the provisions are changed. The remaining, only 20% of the provisions are same and the 80% remains the same. In the last 10 years of this fascist BJP government, they are working towards the goal of attaining Hindu Rashtra by the way of, example take a last 2024 election, by placing the Vedic Manu rule by outplacing the constitution. Here, in last occasion, Chief Justice of India was taken out of the panel for selection of Chief Election Commissioner for the last election. But they also implemented CAA, NRP, NRC, and new educational policy, new environmental policy, electoral bond, and also they made undermining the authority of constitutional bodies. The above listed, these are all the events, and several events are happened. In all the events, these rationalists and these activists are made the people aware of the situation. But these 3 new criminal laws are curtailing the voice of the activist and the rationalist. Here the main issue arises, In further to that, I have to add one more thing. While passing these 3 new criminal laws, the fascist BJP government had suspended 146 members of both the houses on the reason stating that for the breach of parliament. Even after, how they are boneless, backboneless peoples are from there. Without opposition party members, they had passed these 3 new criminal laws. In addition to that, I have to say these 3 new criminal laws are just a shilanyas of Hindu Raj. Many Hindi people knows what does shilanyas means. Shilanyas means in early 90s the Babur Masjid has been demolished. On that occasion, they had placed a stone as a ritual, formal ritual to make the beginning of the work. Here, I will say this is a preface. We are gathered here to make this preface as the last phase of the ruling party. And I will not go into the specific of each and every provision. I've just combined, collect all the 3s. First, I will move on with the BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. In his, there are section 111, 111, 113, 195 and 196. Here, when an act or omission, disturbance made in a public or social structure of the country, the person has to be punished on the elements of...
One more minute.
UPA. UAPA. I need some more time just. Here, when UPA is charged against a person, NIA have the right. But as per the new law, the BNS made a normal police inspector can charge a complaint against a rationalist and activist. So all the elements of the UPA vested in the BNS itself. There is no need of approval from the NIA, no need of approval from the central government. In addition to that, in sedition, they had replaced the word government as to state. Here the government means any disaffection made against the government, the person has to be punished. But in this BNS, they made government as a state. What they are trying to make us, the government is, the state, they are making Hindu Rashtra. The Rashtra means here the state. Whenever a comment or their main contention is to, if a comment are passed against a Hindu, they will convert it as a national integrity. When we are seeking for state autonomy, they will call us separatists.
Please conclude.
As a last and final, I will conclude with the words of, I will conclude with the 3 points. One is about a letter sent by the law commissioner to the secretary. While they had made, which it is letter sent by the British Indian law commissioner to the secretary. They had stated that for the section 2 of IPC, in especially to that, they for the 2 words, every person, he had sent a letter stating that there is no exception should not be made. If an exception should be made, when a government promulgates in India, according to like person of different races and religion, that we have greater doubt whether any consideration except that public faith solemnly pledged deserves to be weighed against advantage of equal justice. They had spoken about the equal justice. The British Indian people had spoken about the equal justice. But when we go into police station, file a complaint against, when we file a complaint, they will not accept. First, they will, right now, as per BNS, they will move for a preliminary inquiry. Through the preliminary inquiry report, they will move for the superintendent of police. After the acceptance of superintendent of police, after that only a complaint has been registered, FIR has been filed. Here, filing and merely FIR is not even allowed. It is totally against a Supreme Court judgment of a Lalita Kumari case. And finally, I could conclude with the words of Mussolini and Macaulay. Mussolini said, everything in the state, they are following the words of Mussolini, everything in the state, nothing outside the state, nothing against the state. But the words of Macaulay said, apply uniformity of law wherever possible, diversity of law wherever necessary, and last is about consistency of law. But here, they just traversed these 3 and moved about. Their main intention is to focus upon the Hindu Rashtra. We are here to make the people aware. I have a humble submission to the FIRA and the Rationalist Forum to make a resolution in this conference that we will conduct a series of campaign to make awareness among these 3 criminal laws and seriousness about it. And thank you FIRA, thank you Doctor giving me some time. Thank you everyone.
Mr. Sibiraj, are you a lawyer? Profession. Yeah, lawyers also won't stop. They will going on arguing in the courts. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Sibiraj. And the amendments, latest amendments on the criminal laws actually kills the constitution. Our constitutional rights are totally going to be eliminated. Even we cannot raise even a single word against the union government or state government. That is the latest trend of the law. So we have to oppose it. Our rationalist people, if we say anything about Rama or Krishna, they will put her under the bars. That is the law making people are doing that nonsense now, which has to be opposed completely. Anyway, thank you, lawyer Sibiraj. I request Sabir Mohammed of Puducherry to come to the podium, please.
Vanakkam. Wisdom lies in thinking. The spearhead of thinking is rationalism, Tandai Periyar. This emphasizes the importance of being free from blind faith and superstitions, means to attain self-respect. Caste is the core cause of discrimination, denial of rights, education, basic needs for specified people who are titled as Sutras or non-Brahmins. All these stuff cause no benefit to the development of the country, neither humanity nor integrity, but contribute division in society and genocide to benefit the creators of God, Brahmins. Who are Dravidians? Dravidians are speakers of Dravidian languages such as Tamil, Malayalam, Kannada, Tulu, Kodava, Telugu, Gondi, who follows and practices Dravidian culture. In political context, it is basically an opposition what is traditionally been the hegemony of Indo-Aryan rule or dominance over Dravidian in name of religion, language, which kills the identity of the local civics. I just want to tell the Dravidian movement and the link between the Dravidian movement and the self-respect movement. So I will explain you shortly what the Dravidian movement is. Tandai Periyar led the Dravidian movement to make the people realize who really they are and what is their culture. This showcased the dominance of the Aryans, which title the people by birth in name of caste, which denies self-respect, basic need, power and recognition in society. How is Dravidian movement related to self-respect movement? Dravidian movement showcased the whole system built by so-called upper caste for the upper caste over all other people in name of Manusastra. The caste applies for the people who follows the God, who claimed as a God, who claimed as creator of humans with different parts of body. Follower of these is termed as Hindu. This does not allow non-Brahmins to worship their God directly or recite spiritual words to God or to enter the place where their God is being placed. So, it concludes that Dravidians are not Hindus but made Hindus through culture genocide in name of superstition. All these framework were demolished by Tandai Periyar. He made people aware of structure built around them which denies the basic need of every human, that is self-respect. Influence of this is self-respect movement ensured the equality among all humans irrespective of caste, race. It broke the barrier between the upper and lower caste. This movement brought significant changes in people's behavior and thought process. This movement enforced social justice, brotherhood and several good causes to the people. Who created caste? The caste system was not invented by a single person or at single time. It evolved over centuries as culture structure in such a way certain set of people is benefited. It has roots in historical, religious and social economic factors. That's the reason why Periyar said there is no God. Impact of self-respect movement. Self-respect movement made people believe that the education and knowledge only leads them to love with self-respect. By the time people started thinking, they understood the restrictions imposed by them in name of Manu Shastra. All this caste system were built in such a way that all other non-Brahmins served the betterment of single community who claim themselves as equal to God. Does not this sound nonsense? Yes, it is. That's why there can be no God who discriminate people. I want to conclude one thing. The fight for self-respect doesn't end with basic need but share of power. That's the reason behind Dravida Kazhagam and Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam. The Dravidian ideology took over Hindutva, which was and is used to divide and discriminate people. As a Tamilan, Dravidian, I state that only non-Aryan movement and rationalism shall protect the uniqueness of the culture, language, and seed brotherhood and unity among people, and self-respect is the most basic of all. With a quote of K.Veeramani, I want to finish my presentation. வேர்வை சிந்தாத நீயும் மை சிந்தாத பேனாவும் எதையும் சாதிக்க முடியாது. For non-Tamilians, I want to tell that in English. Person without shedding tears and a pen without shedding ink cannot achieve anything. An example for this is Periyar. He gave his whole life and he gave his whole writings to the humanity, and he is standing tall in the history. So I request all the people to do the work which Periyar has left for us, and we have to continue this throughout our life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sabir Muhammad of Pondicherry. Periyar, even in 1920s, even in his earlier age, always used to say, there is a fight in the country is always between Aryans and Dravidians. So, all the history which you took and see in Indian history, everything is only between the fight of Aryans and Dravidians. Many times Dravidians won, many times Aryans won. This is a time where the Aryans are on the winning stage. But it is not the permanent one. This will change. The revolutionary movement and the atheist movement and humanist movement and the Dravidian movement will definitely succeed at the later stage. Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Sabir. And I call Babu Beethoven of Kerala to come to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible and the slides are visible. Okay. Respected Chair, esteemed panelists, and my dear friends, a warm good afternoon to one and all. It is indeed a matter of great pleasure for me to be here. My name is Babu Beethoven, and I'm a research scholar following my doctoral studies at National University of Advanced Legal Studies, Kochi. And the paper that I am presenting today is titled Article 51AH, The Untrodden Path Towards Social Emancipation. Before we go into this particular discussion, I have actually divided this discussion into two parts. Being an ardent follower of the Constitution of India, being a believer, being a student of the Constitution of India, I intend to constitutionally analyze this particular provision and also highlight the recent activity that has been taken up in Supreme Court regarding interpretation or enforcement of this particular constitutional provision. So before we begin the discussion on national scenario, next slide please. I'd like to introduce you to the, you all will be familiar with this particular international document known as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that came into effect in 1948, post-colonization and the post-World War II. Click once more. Under the UDHR of 1948, we can see under Article 29(1), it states everyone has duties to the community in which alone the free and full development of personality is possible. The concept of duties has been clearly enshrined under this particular document even before the Constitution of India came into effect in 1950. That is why I wanted to draw your attention to this particular document. Next slide, please. Now, if you look at the constitutional edifice of our Constitution of India, 1950, there are certain philosophical foundations upon which this Constitution is built upon. Slide once more, please. Click once again. Yes. This has been mentioned by Asarya earlier, time and again, yesterday and as well as today, regarding what is intended by the concept of the preamble to the Constitution. But in addition, I'll also like to mention Part 3 of the Constitution that deals with fundamental rights, Part 4 of the Constitution that deals with directive principles of state policy, and Part 4A of the Constitution that was inserted in 1976 via the 42nd Constitutional Amendment that incorporate the aspects of fundamental duties. Now, when we discuss this particular aspect, we have to understand that there is a particular line of thought that is kept in line throughout the constitutional provisions. That is, whatever that comes after these provisions, be it the Part 1 or Part 2, or the provisions under Part 6, which deals with the aspects of what are the components of the government, how is state legislature formed, how is parliament formed. We can see that this particular ideal is kept intact. For instance, if look at the preamble, it speaks, "We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic," and the aspects of equality, justice, everything has been enumerated, and it runs parallel in all the constitutional provisions. Next slide, please, sir. And that brings us to Article 51A(h) of the Constitution, that states that it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to develop scientific temper, humanism, spirit of inquiry, and reform. So these components, these constitutional provisions, why this must be highlighted is that I already mentioned about Part 3, Part 4.
One more minute.
I'd like to have 2 more minutes, sir. Okay. The reason I mentioned this particular provision is because Part 3 that prescribes fundamental rights are enforceable through a court of law. That is, if our right is violated, there is a provision under the Constitution, especially under Article 32 and Article 226, that provides for an enforcement of this particular right. Whereas when it comes to those provisions under Article 36 to 51, which speaks about directive principles of state policy, and our fundamental duties under Article 51A, there is no enforcement mechanism, because duty, legally, when we interpret duty, it is identified as what we say, an act or an obligation. It may not be always enforced. So even after having the presence of scientific temper, humanism, and social reform, all these particular spirit of inquiry, even after having the presence of these terminologies and philosophies within the structure of the Constitution, we can see that none of these are enforceable because it comes under the aspect of a duty. Rights can be enforced. Duties are not enforced. It is an innate thing that comes from the ideology of an individual. If you have a duty to do something, nobody can force it. It comes from within. That this concept of humanism and all, we should identify as such. I don't want to go into the aspects of scientific temper, humanism, and the definitions of it, because it has already been dealt by in previous sessions. But I'd like to highlight a couple of more instances. Just some, next slide, please. I know I'm running short of time. Next slide. Yes. Once more. Next. Okay, these are some of the judgments of the Supreme Court in which the fundamental duties aspect has been discussed. Next slide, please. This is the final aspect that I would like to introduce. That is J.S. Verma committee that came into effect in 2000. The Supreme Court actually in 1998 enunciated a particular committee to discuss teaching of fundamental duties in schools. So
2 minutes over.
Sir, just one more point, sir. The reason why I mentioned this particular aspect, if you look at the recent activity, for instance, I have mentioned cases by Ashwini Kumar Bhattacharya and Durga Dutt, where enforcement of fundamental rights were called in before the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court has presently hasn't given any approval for the enforcement of fundamental duties. So that's why even after having this concept of humanism and everything within the constitution, we cannot exactly claim it in the form of a right or make laws on the particular aspects. So this is an area that requires further deliberation. And on a concluding note, I'd like to quote Rabindranath Tagore, because at the end of the day, what we are looking at is not just the aspect of social emancipation, but also what we call survival of humanity itself. Here I'd like to quote Tagore. This is some of his verses. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where the words come out from the depth of truth, where the tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Thank you.
Thank you, Babu Beethoven. The preamp, always the BJP government is trying to overlook, but always they have a two faces. As Anna said, now irandudayai potri potri. They have constitution in their hand. They pray the constitution before the public, before the parliament, but they just digest the constitution by ignoring the preamp of secularism. Anyway, thank you very much. I request Nallayan, Mr. Nallayan Nadarajan of Puducherry to come to the podium. Oh, sorry. I request Dr. R. Mugam to come to the dais.
Good afternoon, everybody. I thank Sunday Periyar. I thank K.Veeramani. I thank all of you. My title, Science of Periyar Thoughts to conclude the word Superstition kill India. உலகை வெல்லும் பெரியாரின் சிந்தனையின் அறிவியல், இந்தியாவை கொள்ளும் மூடவியல், இதுதான் என்னுடைய தலைப்பு. இவருடைய பாட்டன் கருப்பன் படிக்கவில்லை, இவருடைய தந்தை கோவிந்தசாமி படிக்கவில்லை, நான் படித்தேன். My grandfather did not study, my father did not study. I studied undergraduate science, postgraduate science, doctor of philosophy in science, only தந்தை பெரியார். அதனால பெரியார் மேலே இருக்கிறதுக்கு முழு தகுதி இருக்குது. மை ஃபாதர் டிட் நாட் ஸ்டடி. அதனால பெரியாரை நான் எப்பவும் புகழ்கிறேன், மகிழ்கிறேன். ஏன்னா இது காலத்தின் தேவை. ஸோ பெரியார் இஸ் நீடட் டுடே அண்ட் ஆல்வேஸ். Superstition people are not scientists. Scientists should be rational. Superstition thoughts are against rational principles. No open-minded person is superstition. If you think that something is true only if it is written in a book, then you are superstition and religious. Once again, Periyar is one of very few personalities who thoughts about all activities of man. Even after 1,000 years, people will still be referring to Periyar. It will still be a wonder how to man thoughts too much. Once again, the Periyar, so we need it today. How to the ISRO chairman Somnath Kotu temple visited in 2023. Why? The Mangalyaan launched to ISRO. This is science against to science. So after major fire incident in Tamil Nadu, the Pragati temple, so 1997, so 48 people killed and 2,000 person injured. This is a major incident, so in Tamil Nadu. After 2001, so everybody, so mentally person, so 30 mentally person killed and other person is injured. 2004, Kumbakonam, so fire incidents. So this is a very important part, Periyar, today and always. Once again, so no God can save the people. Only man can save them. Knowledge and medical services are necessary for human development. This is a Periyar thought. So once again, so students can be seen climbing the steps of temple to pay the dues of succeed in government examination. Working people are also seen getting into fires and getting the children cursed with the craft. Lord who built in the small temple can also list up many magicians like Mangaru Adigalar, Sai Baba, who earned many
One more
crores.
minute.
This is one of the persons. Knowledge is a only constant countries and use live happily in the world. So India is a world happiness place in 126. The speech of PM delivered in 2020, the COVID period. So only the light 9 minutes, light torch and the cell phones and show the so many sentences. So this is here against for science. So in the list of happiness list in India 126 and the world number 1 place in the Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland is a very important in the world countries. So follow to Periyar. It is shocking that the United States and Germany are not included the top of 20 list of the first time in the report. United States in the 23 place in the world happiness places. So once again, India is here 126 place. So this is a very important. How to
Please conclude, sir.
So only this is a very important. The Periyar is a E.V. Ramaswamy Nayakar will be called E.V. Ramaswamy from today onwards. Said Father Periyar at the Sengalpattu conference held in 1929. At the same conference, Soundarapandyan Nadar, Vidunagar Ramaswamy Nadar, and other many leaders, many Periyar followers removed the caste designation from the names. This is a milestone of history. So very important. So once again, so believe nothing is not in accordance with your own reasons and common sense, no matter who tells you where you read it or what I tell you myself. So the concept of science and religions and recent inventions, religion is emerged in the 17th century as a result of colonialism, globalization, and the process of reformation of the science. So this is a conclusion. We go to only 1 second. So my thoughts, many theories and studies we have explained the evolution of the earth and the universe. A theory is idea about the something. It is explanation of theory of evolution is based on the idea that all living things and somehow related to each other. Charles Darwin theory, evolution studies, the evolution of living things. All these theories play a major role understanding the evolution of the universe and the living things on the earth. Once again, who is inventor computer? Who is inventor cell phone? Who is inventor television? Who is inventor internet? So all things only human power. So very important. So this is all modern medical devices are the result of human intelligence that Periyar did. He said the thing, so he should, the human intelligence is superior. So Periyar knowledge is needed of the time. Let us study and understand scientists. Many scientists truly studied and explained many theories, explanation and research that what Periyar did, and we all also touching and need continuing. Periyar is needed today and always. Thank you once again. Tandai Periyar வாழ்க, ஆசிரியர் வீரமணி வாழ்க, வாழ்க.
Dr. Arumugam is college professor, so he won't stop. Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Arumugam. He is from Tanjore, so he talks about Pragadiswarar temple and other mishaps happening in so many places in the temples. I forgot to mention about Ayyappa temple. Every year there are hundreds of people are dying in Ayyappa's temple. This is only in 1.5 months' time. Anyway, thank you very much, sir. I call Mrs. Usha Patwal from Uttarakhand to come to the podium.
नमस्कार सभी साथियों का इस पूरे सत्र में अभिनंदन और स्वागत है। मैं अपने इस पत्र को हिंदी में पढ़ना कंफर्ट महसूस कर रही हूँ, इसलिए मैं हिंदी में पढ़ूंगी और मैंने इसकी एक प्रतिलिपि, इसका जो इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशन है वो अध्यक्ष मंडल को सौंप दिया है। साइंस फॉर सोसाइटी यूनाइटेड की तरफ से आपके सामने मैं अपना पेपर प्रस्तुत करने जा रही हूँ।
मैम, you can introduce yourself in English so that the people will know it. Then after that you can talk in Hindi, no problem.
Thank you.
You tell your designation and others.
साइंस फॉर सोसाइटी यूनाइटेड की तरफ से आपके सामने अपना पेपर प्रस्तुत करने जा रही हूँ। हम यहाँ पर भारत के संविधान की धारा 51A(H) को लेकर बात करेंगे, जो कि देश के तर्कशील, प्रगतिशील संगठनों व नागरिकों के द्वारा किए जाने वाले प्रचार एवं कार्यों का मुख्य आधार भी है। संविधान की धारा 51A(H) में देश के सभी नागरिकों के लिए मूल कर्तव्यों को लेकर कहा गया है। वैज्ञानिक दृष्टिकोण, मानवतावाद एवं ज्ञानार्जन तथा सुधार की भावना विकसित करना। वैज्ञानिक दृष्टिकोण, मानवतावाद एवं ज्ञानार्जन तथा सुधार की भावना किसी भी सभ्य समाज में इंसान की परिपूर्णता की आवश्यक शर्तों में से एक है। वैज्ञानिक दृष्टिकोण हमें किसी भी समाज, वस्तु व घटना को समझने व उसे विश्लेषित करने का व्यवस्थित और तर्कसंगत तरीका प्रदान करता है। केवल पेड़ों को देखना, जंगल को न देखना, अथवा केवल जंगल को देखना, उसमें पाए जाने वाले पेड़ पौधों और जीव जंतुओं की प्रजातियों को न देखना एकांकी दृष्टिकोण है, वैज्ञानिक दृष्टिकोण नहीं है। वैज्ञानिक दृष्टिकोण हमें किसी भी वस्तु, घटना और समाज का सांगोपांग विश्लेषण करने का तरीका सिखाता है। हमें बताता है कि किसी जंगल को विश्लेषित करने के लिए हमें केवल समग्र रूप में जंगल को ही नहीं देखना होगा, बल्कि इसके लिए हमें उसमें पाए जाने वाले जीव जंतुओं, पेड़ पौधों को भी देखना होगा, समझना होगा। जंगल में पाई जाने वाले जीव जंतुओं और प्रजातियों से भी मिलकर जंगल बनता है। स्वतंत्रता, समानता एवं बंधुत्व मानवतावाद के मूल तत्व हैं। हमारे देश में संविधान में मूल तत्वों को औपचारिक रूप से स्वीकार किया गया है। देश के संविधान में इसे औपचारिक रूप से स्वीकार करने के बावजूद भी देश की जनता के जीवन में मानववाद अर्थात स्वतंत्रता, समानता व बंधुत्व के मूल सब अभी तक अपना स्थान नहीं बना पाए हैं। स्वतंत्रता, समानता व बंधुत्व के बगैर हम मानववाद को प्राप्त नहीं कर सकते हैं। अधिकांश देशवासियों की स्वतंत्रता मात्र वोट देने की स्वतंत्रता तक ही सीमित होकर रह गई है। बेरोजगारी, अशिक्षा, कुपोषण से ग्रस्त, आधे पेट भोजन करने वाले व्यक्ति आज भी देश की सरकारों से स्वतंत्रता के मायने पूछ रहा है। देश में शिक्षा का ढांचा असमान बना हुआ है। लोगों के पास उपलब्ध संसाधनों व उसके इस्तेमाल के बीच जमीन आसमान का फर्क है। एक तरफ धन दौलत का अंबार है तो दूसरी तरफ अभाव भरा जीवन है। 80 करोड़ से अधिक लोग आज भी सरकार के 5 किलो राशन पर जिंदा रहने को विवश है। जातिगत व धार्मिक वैमनस्यता व लैंगिक असमानता से देश का बंधुत्व तार-तार हो रहा है। मानवतावाद को सही मायनों में स्थापित करने के लिए हमें देश में वास्तविक स्वतंत्रता, समानता व बंधुत्व को स्थापित करने के लिए हमें रात दिन काम करने की ज़रूरत है। मानव सभ्यता के विकास के साथ साथ ज्ञानार्जन की प्रक्रिया भी लगातार विकसित होती गई है। आदिम कबीलाई समाज में ज्ञान विज्ञान बेहद निचली अवस्था में था। इसमें बराबरी होने के कारण ज्ञान प्राप्त करने पर कोई बंदिश नहीं थी। वर्गीय समाज में के पैदा होने के साथ सामंती लूट को कानूनी जामा पहनाने व उसे शाश्वत सत्य रूप में स्थापित करने के लिए मनुस्मृति जैसी कानूनी पुस्तकें लिखी गई है। इन पुस्तकों के माध्यम से शूद्रों और महिलाओं के ज्ञान प्राप्ति को प्रतिबंधित कर दिया गया है। शूद्रों को शिक्षा से वंचित कर उन्हें द्विज सेवक बना दिया गया है। महिलाओं को जन्म के साथ ही पिता व भाई, विवाह के बाद पति व वृद्ध होने पर पुत्र का पराधीन बना दिया गया है। शोषक वर्ग की लूट, तानाशाही व उत्पीड़न के खिलाफ महिलाओं और उत्पीड़न जातियों एवं मेहनतकश वर्ग के युग युगों से संघर्ष रहा है। लोकायतों और चारवाकों के रूप में भी शोषण वर्गों को दार्शनिक व वैचारिक चुनौतियां देने की गौरवशाली परंपरा हमारे देश में रही है, जो कि कबीर, फूले और पेरियार के बाद आज भी जारी है। आज आज़ाद भारत में भी ज्ञान विज्ञान शासक समृद्धशाली शोषक वर्ग के चंगुल से मुक्त नहीं हो पाया है। आज भी ज्ञान व्यवहार से कटा हुआ है। वर्गीय समाज बनने के बाद श्रम करना गुलामों व तथा कथित शूद्रों का काम बना दिया गया है। इस कारण आज भी समाज में श्रम को लेकर हे दृष्टिकोण विद्यमान है। मेडिकल साइंस जैसे कुछ क्षेत्रों को छोड़ दिया जाए तो ज्ञान को श्रम से काट कर रखा गया है, जो कि सर्वांगीण विकास एवं प्रगति में बाधक है। देखकर सीखना ज्ञान प्राप्ति का बुनियादी गुण है, जो कि इंसान के जन्म लेने के साथ ही शुरू हो जाता है। परंतु दुनिया के पूंजीवादी साम्राज्यवादी लुटेरों ने ग्रेट डंकल प्रस्ताव और विश्व व्यापार संगठनों में बौद्धिक अधिकार संपदा का कानून बनाकर पेटेंट कानून के माध्यम से ज्ञान को बंधक बना लिया है। 51AH की मूल भावना है कि हर चीज़ को तर्क और कारण की कसौटी पर कसना, घटना को आंख मूंद कर सच के रूप में स्वीकार कर लेने की जगह उस पर तर्क वितर्क करना, उसकी तह तक जाना, कारणों को जानना व उसका निवारण करना। पोंगापंथियों द्वारा कहा जाता है कि वेदों में एटम बम बनाने की फार्मूले हैं। इस बात को लेकर हमारे दो दृष्टिकोण हो सकते हैं। पहला कि हम इस बात को सही मान लें कि दूसरा हम वेदों का अध्ययन कर देखें कि वेदों में क्या वास्तविक रूप से एटम बम बनाने का फार्मूला है, और हम वेदों को देखते हैं, पढ़ते हैं, समझते हैं तो इस निष्कर्ष पर पहुंचते हैं कि वेदों में एटम बम बनाने के फॉर्मूले नहीं है। वेदों में एटम बम का फॉर्मूला कपोल कल्पना के झूठ कुत्सित प्रचार है। भारत के संविधान के अनुच्छेद 51AH की मूल भावना संविधान की मोटी पुस्तक में दबकर रह गई है। सवाल उठता है कि 51AH के अनुरूप कार्य योजना बनाने और उसे धरातल पर उतारने की मुख्य जिम्मेदारी किसकी है। इसका एक ही उत्तर है कि इसके लिए मुख्य जिम्मेदारी भारत लोकतंत्र के चारों स्तंभ विधायिका, कार्यपालिका, न्यायपालिका और मीडिया की है। हालत यह है कि 51AH की देश में रोज की धज्जियां उड़ाई जा रही है और इस असंवैधानिक काम में लोकतंत्र के चारों स्तंभों में से कोई भी पीछे नहीं है। चंद्रयान की सफलता के लिए इसरो के वैज्ञानिक मंदिरों में जाकर प्रार्थना करते हैं। बलात्कार का सजा याफ्ता बाबा राम रहीम को भाजपा सरकार द्वारा वोट की गणित राजनीति के लिए बार बार पैरोल छोड़ा जाता है। उत्तर प्रदेश के पुलिस महानिदेशक कार्यालय में राम भजन प्रस्तुत कर संविधान का माखौल उड़ाया जा रहा है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट के हाल ही में सेवानिवृत्त मुख्य न्यायाधीश चंद्रचूड़ की हालत यह है कि वह राम जन्मभूमि व बाबरी मस्जिद भूमि विवाद का फैसला फाइल में मौजूद तथ्यों के आधार पर नहीं बल्कि अपनी आस्था के आधार पर करने की बात करते हुए स्वयं को गौरवान्वित महसूस करते हैं। अखबार पत्र पत्रिकाओं व मीडिया के माध्यम से हर दिन हर क्षण कूप मंडुपता पोंगा पंथ का यशोगान किया जा रहा है। देश के सभी लोगों को आधुनिक गुणवत्तापूर्ण इलाज और उपलब्ध कराने की जगह सरकार की नीम हकीम औजार वैज्ञानिक चिंतन की जगह इसका भगवाकरण किया जा रहा है। देश की भाजपा सरकार तो नग्नता के साथ 51AH की स्प्रिट के खिलाफ काम कर रही है। सुरक्षा बलों में धर्मनिरपेक्ष लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों को स्थापित करने की जगह उसका सांप्रदायिकीकरण किया जा रहा है। भाजपा व RSS से जुड़े कट्टरपंथियों को देश में मनमानी करने की खुली छूट दे दी गई है। अल्पसंख्यकों पर हमले लगातार बढ़ रहे हैं। तर्कशील आंदोलन के अग्रणी नरेंद्र दाभोलकर, गोविंद पानसरे, कुलवर्णी और गौरी लंकेश मालाओं का स्वागत, इनके अपराधियों को छोड़कर मालाओं से स्वागत किया जा रहा है। थैंक यू।
Thank you very much, Mrs. Usha Patwal from Uttarakhand. I have given her some more gracious time because she has come all the way from Uttarakhand. So let her speak. Luckily, she had given an English version of the program, what she spoke. She was talking more about superstition and Article 51A and the freedom of children freedom, and Babar Masood mishap. That's a brief of her speech. Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Susat Patwal. I request Mr. Brain Adams John of Tamil Nadu to come to the podium.
தோழர்கள் அனைவருக்கும் என் வணக்கம். நான் திராவிட சமுதாயத்தை திருத்த வந்தேன். என்ன தகுதி இருக்கிறது, என்ன அருகதை இருக்கிறது என்னிடம் கேள்வி கேட்டார்கள். யாரும் அந்த பணியை செய்ய முன்வராததால் நான் அந்த பணியை செய்கிறேன் என்று தந்தை பெரியார் அவர்கள் சொல்வார்கள். The society was dwelling in the darkness, and to dispel its spell, there was an old man with a stick, raised his voice for the upliftment of the oppressed and the dejected people. Class discrimination was prevalent all around the world. However, in India, caste surpassed classes, ineptly dominating the entire geographical of India. The Hindu religion is the base that sowed the seed among the common people about the rigidity of castes in the society. According to Varna system and the Manusastra, leading to the existence of Manusastra. Brahmins were originated from the head of Brahma and were superior among all the humans. And secondly, there were Kshatriyas. They were originated from the arms of Brahma and they were created for judiciary. And thirdly, there were Vaishyas. They were responsible for trade and commerce. Lastly, there were those who were deprived of all the things. They were not allowed to enter to the temple, prohibited to drink water from the common wells and ponds at the center of the village, forbidden to wear clothes, and more grief-stricken moment was they were not allowed to do their final burial at the common graveyard. At the peak of growth in the caste and class discrimination, in order to remove the darkness of the society, there come a man, the man with dressed black and having a grey beard, who stood for the upliftment of the oppressed and the dejected people. The man was called Thandai Periyar. My topic is the centenary of self-respect movement. This movement was started as 1925. The following conference was held at 1929 on February 17th and 18th February of 1929. The conference proposed many resolutions based on the social justice. The resolutions are: we have to remove the caste designation from their name, not to wear any religious symbol on their bodies. Women have to marry after the age of 16. They have the right to divorce and they have the right to remarry. They grant the equal rights for the inheritance property for women. Periyar fought for women. The self-respect movement was created and mainly for the upliftment of the society. The Periyar self-respect movement was created to the people of women. The women were ill-treated among the society. They were, in other religions, marriage was an agreement. The agreement was made to respect both the parties of women and the men. But according to Hindu law, marriage is a sacrament. The sacrament thread enslaved the women and proclaimed their husband as a god. Because of the self-respect movement, there brought a big change in the society because of self-respect marriage. This came into act under the leadership of Annadurai by the Dravidian and Aryan Kazhagam on 1967. On the other hand, women were ill-treated among the society. Widows were ill-treated. They were not allowed to remarry. They asked to wear white saris, and they were restricted from all the rituals that are happening in the temple and from the society. Periyar fought for the widows and asked them to remarry. We all have the labels of Shudras, but to remove the label of Shudra, we must attain dignity, so we must have to study. Periyar fought for our education. This is the moment which fought against the caste system, and this is the moment which fought for we want reservation under the community basis. This is the moment that said there is no God, but this is the moment that said everyone wanted to go into the temple. This movement created many impact in the society, mainly for the people of Tamil Nadu and the women that are depressed. I conclude my speech by saying this quote. Nowadays, BJP is introducing many ridiculous stereotypes among the society. It's an urge for an Periyar is Dravidian and Aryan, and FIRA and all the institutions to protect from the ridiculous stereotypes that are imposed by the so-called BJP. We have to fight against the BJP. Lastly, I would say to the BJP, நீங்கள் சனாதனத்தோடு வந்தால் நாங்கள் சமூக நீதியோடு உங்களை எதிர்த்து போராடுவோம். நீங்கள் சர்வாதிகாரத்தோடு வந்தால் நாங்கள் சமத்துவத்தோடு போராடுவோம். நீங்கள் பாசிசத்தோடு வந்தால் நாங்கள் பெரியாரோடு போராடுவோம். நீங்கள் ராமராஜ்யம் என்று சொன்னால் நாங்கள் இது பெரியார் பெரியார் தடியோடு என்று போராடுவோம் என்று கூறி thank you for giving me the opportunity.
பெரியார் இயக்கம் போராட்டத்திற்கு என்றும் சளைத்ததல்ல. பெரியார் மண் என்று நாங்கள் போராடுவோம் என்று அருமை தம்பி பிரெயின் ஆடம்ஸ் ஜான் அவர்கள் பேசினார்கள். இன்றைக்கு இந்தியாவிலேயே எந்த அரசியல் நோக்கத்தையும் பற்றி கருதாமல், யார் என்ன நினைப்பார்கள் என்று கருதாமல், இன்றைக்கு பிஜேபி அரசாங்கத்தை துணிச்சலுடன் எதிர்க்கின்ற ஒரே இயக்கம் நம்முடைய இயக்கம்தான். கருப்பு சட்டைக்காரர்கள் தான் காவலுக்கு கெட்டிக்காரர்களாக இருந்து பிற்படுத்தப்பட்ட, தாழ்த்தப்பட்ட, அமுக்கப்பட்ட சமுதாயத்தை தூக்கி நிறுத்துவதற்கு தங்களையே தியாகம் செய்து கொண்டு வாழ்ந்து கொண்டிருக்கின்ற இயக்கம் நம் இயக்கம். நம்முடைய அருமை தலைவர் ஆசிரியர் ஐயா அவர்கள்தான் நம்மையெல்லாம் வழிகாட்டி கொண்டு துணிச்சலாக அந்த ஆர்ப்பாட்டத்திலும் போராட்டத்திலும் நம்மை ஈடுபடுத்தி கொண்டிருக்கின்றார். தந்தை பெரியார் அவர்கள் நான் யார் என்று ஒரு அரிய கட்டுரையை எழுதியிருப்பார். அதில் நம்முடைய தம்பி சொன்னது போல இதையெல்லாம் செய்வதற்கு யார் இருக்கிறார்கள், அதையே என்னுடைய தகுதியாக நினைத்து நான் இந்த தொண்டரத்தில் ஈடுபடுகிறேன் என்று தந்தை பெரியார் அவர்கள் சொன்னார்கள். அந்த தனி மனிதனாக சொன்ன தந்தை பெரியார் அவர்கள் அதோடு நிறுத்தவில்லை. அன்றைக்கு இவர் பெரியார் ராமசாமி நாயக்கர் போகிறாரு, இவர் குடியரசு பத்திரிகையை யாருமே இனிமேல் படிக்க மாட்டாங்கன்னு சொன்ன உடனே தந்தை பெரியார் அவர்கள் சொல்கிறார்கள், நான் ஒருவனே எழுதி, நான் ஒருவனே அச்சடித்து, நான் ஒருவனே படிப்பதென்றாலும் குடியரசை வெளியிடுவேன் என்று தந்தை பெரியார் சொன்னார். அந்த தனி மனிதனாக காங்கிரஸ் பேர் இயக்கம் பெரிய இயக்கமாக இருந்த காலகட்டத்திலே அதை விட்டு வெளியே வந்து தனி மனிதனாக சாதித்தது தான் இன்றைக்கு நாமெல்லாம் பேண்ட் ஷர்ட் போட்டுக்கிட்டு இங்கே உட்கார்ந்துருக்கிற சாதனை. நாமெல்லாம் டாக்டர்களாகவும் பொறியாளர்களாகவும் இன்னும் அறிவியல் அறிஞர்களாகவும் நம்முடைய நீதிபதிகளாகவும் வழக்கறிஞர்களாகவும் இருக்கிறோம் என்றால் அது நமக்கு தந்தை பெரியார் போட்ட பிச்சை என்று கூறி வாழ்த்துக்களோடு அடுத்த நம்முடைய ஸ்வப்னா சுந்தர் அவர்களை பேச அழைக்கின்றேன். வாங்கம்மா, நல்ல டான்ஸ் ஆனாங்க.
Greetings to all the rationalists on the days and off the days. I am going to talk about my name is Swapna Sundar. I am a lawyer. I am a patent attorney. अदाउद அறிவுசார் சொத்துரிமைக்கான वकील. हिंदी में बौद्धिक संपदा अधिकारों की वकील हूँ. So for me, spreading the scientific temper is not only social justice, it will also improve my business. I will get more patents. And I will tell you why this is important. Maybe you don't know, but the current director of IIT Madras, Dr. Kamakoti Veeranathan, is very proud that he doesn't have a passport. In fact, he doesn't have a passport because he says that his caste and his religion have cast a ban on people crossing the oceans. According to him, the Bodhayana Dharma says that you should not cross the ocean because if you cross the ocean, you will lose your caste. Such a person is the person heading the biggest scientific institution in Tamil Nadu, the IIT Madras. This gives a clear understanding of what is the difference between science as a profession in India and scientific temper. I have 5 topics to talk about and I'll finish in 5 minutes. The first is, what do we mean when we say develop the scientific temper? Many of the speakers before me have said that the Article 51A is not justiciable. I think that is an important point. But as a lawyer, I would like to add that those parts of the Constitution that cannot be enforced by the courts of law should be enforced by political action. That is actually the definition also provided by K. Balagopal, senior lawyer from Andhra Pradesh. When we say develop the scientific temper, it is not just developing the scientific temper as a child develops muscles. So I will give this example to you. When a baby develops, the muscles develop. That is also developing muscles by walking, by massaging. But when a young man wants to develop muscles, then he has to do push-ups, he has to do sit-ups, he has to run miles. That is the develop when they talk about developing scientific temper. There is a definition given by John Diggle of what is scientific temper. He says, it is a modest, open-minded temper and temper ever ready to welcome new light, new knowledge, new experiments. This is not the scientific temper that we are expected as citizens of this country to oblige. Nehru says, the scientific approach is adventurous, critical temper for science, the search deep and radical for truth and new knowledge, the refusal to accept anything without testing and trial. This is the development when we talk about scientific temper, and that is the duty we have to cast. So when we look at the spirit of Article 51A(h), the vitality, the jo uski jaan hai, that doesn't come from just sitting with an open mind. Sometimes we should not be so open-minded that your brains fall out. The second part of my talk is on the words that are used. The other duties that are cast in Article 51A are very, very simple. Cherish and follow, value and preserve, abide by, respect, uphold, protect. Only in develop does it say develop. Only in the next one, 51A(j), does it say strive. So therefore, when we talk about it, it is an active development. It is like developing and moving, like moving an army or a doctor going to support somebody whose life is in danger. How is the scientific temper to be developed? I want to leave this thought with you because I can't take the time of this panel. C.K. Prahlad and Hamill, in their very important article about strategic intent, say that we cannot know what is there in the long run. What scientific temper gives us is the courage to follow short stints. So a marathon in 400-meter sprints. So let me give you an example. I left Chennai from my house, not knowing if the auto will fall, not knowing if the train will have an accident, not knowing if I will reach here in time, not knowing if the panel will give me an opportunity to present this paper. This requires the courage that scientific temper and humanism gives me because I have the trust in the process and in the people who run this organization. If I were only a religious person, I would have put vibhuti or done one cross, fallen on my parents' feet and hoped that things will happen. That is not the scientific temper that I'm bringing to you. And finally, I leave with you. We have a very raw land to farm and very unwilling farmers in this country in which to develop scientific temper. I trust FIRA and the Rationalist Forum and other organizations who have come here to help us to take active, energetic, fast and long steps towards scientific temper. Thank you.
Very impressive, lawyer. Your speech is very dancing and impressive. Anyway, congrats. And Swapna Sundar has told about what is the real fact of scientific temper. Incidentally, she was talking in the beginning about a judge. He's a judge, no? The Hindu should not cross the ocean. That was the basic concept of. Yeah, okay. Dr. Kamakodi, who was not having a passport. Periyar சொல்லுவாரு அறிவுக்கும் படிப்புக்கும் சம்பந்தம் இல்லைன்னு. டாக்டருங்க வந்து எப்போவுமே என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, காசு வாங்குற வரைக்கும் நல்லா ஆயிடுச்சுன்னா நான் செஞ்சேன்பாங்க, ஏதாவது போயிடுச்சுன்னா பூட்டுடுச்சு அவன் செய்யலை அப்படிம்பாங்க. அதுபோல் அவர் இந்த அம்மா பேசுனதில் எனக்கு ஒரு இன்சிடெண்ட் ஞாபகம் வருது. மதன் மோகன் மாளவியான்னு நீங்கள் கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க. பனாரஸ் இந்து யூனிவர்சிட்டியை அவர் தான் ஆரம்பித்தார். ஆர்எஸ்எஸோட பிறப்பிடம் அது. அந்த இடத்துல அவர் வந்து காந்தியாருக்கு ரொம்ப க்ளோஸு. காந்தியார் வட்டமேஜை மாநாட்டிற்காக லண்டன் போகிறாரு. இவர் வந்து என்ன பண்ணுறாரு, நீங்களே என் கூட வாங்கன்றாரு. முதல்ல வந்து ஐயோ எப்படி நான் கடலை தாண்டுறது அப்படின்னு முதல்ல சொல்லுவார். அப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணுறாரு, நம்ம இந்திய மண்ணை எடுத்து தண்ணி ஊற்றி உருண்டையாக பண்ணி பாக்கெட்டில் போட்டுக்கிறாரு. அவருக்கு திராவிட இயக்கத்தில் மண்ணுருண்டை மாணவியானே நம்ம அந்த காலத்தில் பேப்பரில் எழுதுனாங்க. அதோடு அவர் நிறுத்தலை. அந்நிய மண்ணில் இருக்கிற தண்ணியை போய் குடித்தா அது பாதகம்னுட்டு கங்கை தண்ணியை இங்கேருந்து குடத்தில் எடுத்துக்கிட்டு போனார். குடத்தில் எடுத்துக்கிட்டு போனது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் ஷிப்பில் போகிறப்போ மிலேச்சன் செஞ்ச சாப்பாடை நான் சாப்பிட மாட்டேன்னுட்டு அந்த கங்கை தண்ணியிலேயே சமையல் அவரே செஞ்சு சாப்பிட்டாரு. இங்கிலாந்துக்கு போகிறதுக்கு 2 நாளைக்கு முன்னே தண்ணி தீர்ந்து போச்சு. இந்த மனுஷன் என்ன பண்ணுவார், பசி வேற ஒரு பக்கம், என்ன பண்ணுவார், அதனால் ஒன்றுமே சாப்பிடாம ஒரு நாள் ஓட்டி பார்த்தாரு. இன்னும் இங்கிலாந்து போகிறதுக்கு எத்தனை நாள் ஆகுன்னு காந்தி கிட்ட கேட்டார். இன்னும் 1.5 நாள் இருக்குது அப்படின்னு அவர் சொன்னார். சரி நான் என்ன பண்ணுறது, ரொம்ப பசிக்குது அப்படின்னுட்டு அப்போவும் சாப்பிடல. அதுதான் சனாதனம். சனாதனம்னா என்ன அப்படிங்கிறமில்ல, இதுதான் சிம்பிள் எக்ஸாம்பிள். அப்புறம் பழங்களை 1.5 நாள் வெறும் பழமே சாப்பிட்டுக்கிட்டு போய் சேர்ந்தார். அந்த நினைப்பு எனக்கு அவங்க பேசினப்போ வந்தது. அந்த மண்ணுருண்டை மாளவியா, ஐ திங்க் தி other state people had followed what I said. Are you able to follow, sir? Are you able to follow? See, the Banaras Hindu University was formed on Professor Madan Mohan Malaviya. Understand? That Madan Mohan Malaviya is very close friend of Gandhiji. Gandhiji wants to go to a round table conference to England. He wants to take this Madan Mohan Malaviya to England. But Madan Mohan Malaviya said, as a chronic Brahmin, he said, how can I cross the ocean? That's not possible for me. Then Gandhi, no, you have to come, it's better if you come there. Then what he did, he took the Indian soil, made it a round ball, put it in his coat pocket. He is going with Indian soil, it seems. He is cheating Indians as well as Indian soil. He put the Indian soil in his pocket. We used to call him Mannurundai Malaviya. Mannurundai means Indian soil ball. Mannurundai means Indian soil ball. He took Ganges water with him. He cooked with his own, because he called the cook in the ship, chef in the ship as Milecha. So he didn't want to take the food from his hand. So he himself cooked in the ship, took the food, and he went. And last 2 days, the water was emptied. The water cane was emptied. He was not able to take food. So what he did, one day he tried to manage. The second day, his hunger was very severe. So he started taking fruits for 1.5 days and went to London. Thank you. I call Mr. Nallayan Natarajan from Pondicherry to come to the podium.
Distinguished delegates from FIRA, respected panelists of this session, I'll assure you I will restrict myself to 5 minutes. Myself, Nallayan, I'm coming from Pondicherry. I work for a private bank as a vice president. My title is Endless Journey Towards Secular and Scientific Tempered Society, with specific reference to the Article 51A1H. I split my discussion in 2 parts. One, evolution and historical perspective of the scientific temper in India, right from the colonial era, and then how it transferred post-independence, and then what is the current scenario in the last 15 years, what is the current scientific temper sentiment in India is what I would just touch upon. Given paucity of time, I'll just rush. Mughals ruled this country for more than 600 years. There was no agitation, there was no, a sense of independence among the people of this land. Reason being, the Mughal did not touch upon the religious sentiments of our country, which is highly casteist and highly superstitious. Whereas British, when they landed in India and they found this land is actually of highly superstitious, and they found this society as a highly casteist society, they introduced some of the radical measures that had actually disturbed the Sanatanis, which translated in the form of, independence, fought for independence, which started in 1857, the Sepoy Mutiny. So the British era and the colonial era is where they introduced this radical legislations like the Abolition of Sati Act and Widow Remarriage Act and Indian Penal Code and other legislations to make sure, the society is governed with humanistic and scientific approach. Post-independence, the framers of the constitution, people like Dr. Ambedkar, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who was professing a secular and a scientific society, formed this constitution in such a way that it is open for the society to adopt those measures and progress in the future. It was Nehru who constituted a lot of institutions like IISCs and IITs. Just now Madam was talking about how IITs was managed, and at least he had a sense of scientific approach in his building the nation. In the south, we had Thandai Periyar, who was professing the humanism and a casteless society, who was vehemently opposing the religious practices, and followed by his disciple Aringer Anna, who came to the power and brought the Hindu remarriage act and brought the amendment to the Hindu Marriage Act by keeping away the religious rituals in a marriage. He introduced the Swayamriyadai marriage by way of an amendment, which is even now challenged in Supreme Court of India, and Supreme Court of India had to accept that provision as a valid one. Article 15(1)H has been spoken much in this last 2 days. Its three tenets are nothing but humanism and scientific promotion of scientific temper and question and inquiry of spirit of inquiry. These are the three pillars of this this provision. Let me switch over to the current scenario of how the scientific temper has deteriorated in the last 15 years. All of us know Steve Jobs, who is the founder of Apple, and most of you know how Apple product is. It's known for its aesthetic features and the design. What is the reason for his death, early death? He died at the age of 52. Imagine he has lived for another 20 years, we would have got a lot of products under Apple itself. How many of us know that he had fallen prey of the traditional medicine, and he took a treatment for his pancreatic cancer under traditional treatment, traditional medicine? Most of us are professing, or even some of us here may accept traditional medicine, but I would say as rationalists, we should disregard such traditional medicine, because there is no traditional physics, there is no traditional mathematics, there is no traditional chemistry, and why only traditional medicine? So we need only evidence-based medicine is what we need to follow. And Steve Jobs fallen prey by following the traditional medicine. Secondly, we had another instance. I can keep quoting a lot of examples. We know nowadays gurus talk about health, especially the man in Coimbatore. He talks about recently had a small clipping. I mean, he was preaching drinking water before food neutralizes the acidity in the body. Lot of doctors has condemned that, and they said that it is not factually right. And he has millions of followers, and these followers thought that this is a valid one. So like that, there are a lot of influencers in the society filled with, lot of influencers who profess this kind of superstitious beliefs and pseudoscience. My humble request to all here, we keep professing rationalism, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nallayan Nadarajan. Nallayan Nadarajan அவங்க ஒரு ரொம்ப அழகான ஒரு presentation எங்களுக்கு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க. Beautiful brochure. He is talking about the self-respect marriage, sir. சீர்திருத்த திருமணத்தை பற்றி ஒரு சின்ன இன்சிடெண்ட் உங்ககிட்ட சொல்கிறேன். அறிஞர் அண்ணா அவர்கள் முதலமைச்சராக இருந்த பொழுது சாதித்த 3 சாதனைகளில் முதல் சாதனை இந்தி இருமொழி கொள்கை, 2வது சாதனை சீர்திருத்த திருமணத்தை சட்டமாக்கினார், 3வது சாதனை தமிழ்நாடுன்னு பேர் வச்சது. இந்த 2வது சாதனை சீர்திருத்த திருமணத்தோட டிராஃப்டை அண்ணா அவர்கள் ஆசிரியரை கூப்பிட்டு ஆசிரியர்கிட்ட கொடுத்து ஐயா கிட்ட இதை காமிச்சிட்டு வாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. ஐயா அதை பார்த்துட்டு அதில் ஒரு சின்ன திருத்தம் பண்ணார். என்ன திருத்தம்னா, அதில் அண்ட் டையிங் தி தாலி அப்படின்னு போட்டிருந்துச்சு. அது அண்ட் டையிங் த தாலின்னா கட்டாயம் தாலி கட்டணுங்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு கட்டாயம் ஆகிடும். அதனால் அதை ஆர்னு போடுங்க, ஆர் டையிங் த தாலின்னு போடுங்க அப்படின்னு அண்ணாவுக்கு சிஎம் அண்ணா ஐயா ஆசிரியர் ஐயா கிட்ட சொல்லி திரும்ப கோட்டைக்கு அனுப்புனாங்க. அங்கே போய் அண்ணா கிட்ட சொன்ன உடனே அண்ணா சொன்னார், ஆசிரியர் சொன்னதை தான் நான் உங்ககிட்ட சொல்கிறேன். அண்ணா சொல்லியிருக்காரு, வீரமணி பார்த்தீங்களா, நான் 2 MA வாங்கியிருக்கேன், முதலமைச்சராக இருந்திருக்கேன், இந்த இயக்கத்திலேயே ஊறி வளர்ந்துருக்கேன். நீங்கள் வக்கீல், உங்களுக்கும் எனக்கும் தெரியாதது கூட தந்தை பெரியாருக்கு இருந்திருக்கிறது. அவர்தான் பெரியார் என்று ஆசிரியரிடம் பேரறிஞர் அண்ணா அவர்கள் சொன்ன நினைவு எனக்கு வருகிறது. இன்றைக்கு இந்த நிகழ்வில் பங்கெடுத்த அனைத்து பேப்பர் ப்ரெசன்ட் பண்ண அனைத்து பேருக்கும் என்னுடைய நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். நேரத்தின் நெருக்கடி காரணமாக உங்களை நான் சீக்கிரம் உட்காருங்கன்னு சொன்னேன். ஆனாலும் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி வெகு சிறப்பாக நடந்தது. நம்முடைய அவைத்தலைவர் வீரமர்த்தினி வழக்கறிஞர் அவர்களை கன்க்ளூஷன் பேச்சுக்கு ஐ வில் கால் ஹர்.
இரண்டு நாள் மிக சிறப்பாக நடைபெற்ற இந்திய பகுத்தறிவாளர் சங்கங்களின் கூட்டமைப்பின் 13வது தேசிய மாநாட்டின் முதல் நாளில் தெலுங்கானா மனவ விகாச வேதிகா சார்பில் தேசிய மனிதநேயர் விருது பெற்ற 2024 விருது பெற்ற போற்றுதலுக்கும் பாராட்டுதலுக்கும் உரிய திராவிடர் கழக தலைவர், ஆசிரியர், தகைசால் தமிழர் அவர்கள் உள்ளிட்ட அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். 12 பேர் பங்கு பெற்ற இந்த இணை அமர்வுக்கு தலைமை ஏற்று இங்கே ரொம்ப ஆரம்பத்தில் டான்ஸ்லாம் ஆடி, அதாவது ஒவ்வொரு முறையும் திராவிடர் கழகம் நடத்தக்கூடிய ஊர்வலத்தில் தீச்சட்டி இங்கே மாரியாத்தா எங்கே, தீச்சட்டி இங்கே காளியாத்தா எங்கே என்று முழக்கமிடக்கூடிய ஒரு மருத்துவர் டாக்டர் கௌதமன் அவர்களே, திராவிடர் கழகத்தின் பொருளாளர் ஐயா மானமிகு குமரேசன் அவர்களே, திராவிடர் கழகத்தின் துணை பொதுச் செயலாளர், 2 நாட்களும் தொடர்ச்சியாக இதை வழிநடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய பிரின்ஸ் என்ஆர்எஸ் பெரியார் அவர்களே, பெண்களும் மூட நம்பிக்கையும் அதிகாரத்தில் முடிவு எடுப்பதில் பெண்களுக்கு வாய்ப்பு கொடுக்க வேண்டும் என்பதை வலியுறுத்தி பேசிய அன்புமணி அவர்களுக்கு நன்றி. பெண் அடிமை என்பது மனித சமூக அழிவு என்பதை நாம் நினைக்காததாலேயே வளர்ச்சி பெற வேண்டிய மனித சமூகம் பகுத்தறிவு இருந்தும் நாள்தோறும் தேய்ந்து கொண்டே போகிறது என்று சொன்ன தந்தை பெரியாரின் கருத்துக்களை வலியுறுத்தியும், பெண் உரிமை என்று கேட்கிறீர்களே, பெண்ணுரிமை என்றால் என்ன என்று தந்தை பெரியாரிடம் கேட்டபொழுது, ஆணுக்குள்ள உரிமை அத்துணையும் பெண்ணுக்கு வேண்டும் என்று மிக அற்புதமாக சொன்ன அந்த கருத்துக்களை எல்லாம் வலியுறுத்தி பேசிய இளவரசி சங்கர் அவர்களுக்கும், அதே நேரத்தில் அனைவருக்கும் அனைத்தும் என்பதே திராவிட சித்தாந்தம் என்பதை இருக்கின்ற வளங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் வர வேண்டும் என்பதை வலியுறுத்திய பர்வீன் ராத்தி அவர்களுக்கும், பெரியார் ஏன் காங்கிரஸிலிருந்து வெளியேறினார், பெரியார் சமூக நீதிக்காகத்தான் காங்கிரஸிலிருந்து வெளியேறினார் என்பதை பதிவு செய்த சோமசுந்தரம் அவர்களுக்கும், அதே நேரத்தில் பிஜேபி ஜூலை 1, 2023 அண்மையில் கொண்டு வந்த 3 குற்றவியல் சட்டங்கள், பாரதிய நகரிக் சுரக்ஷா சன்ஹீதா, பாரதிய நியாய சன்ஹீதா, பாரதிய நியாய சாஷிய ஆதினியம், வாயிலே நுழையாது, வயிறில் வலிக்குது, அந்த அளவுக்கு ஒரு 3 சட்டங்களே, அதுவும் எல்லாம் பாரதிய அவங்க கட்சி பேரை வச்சே கொண்டு வந்திருக்காங்க. ஆங்கிலத்தில் தான் கொண்டு வரணும்னு இந்திய அரசியலமைப்பு சட்டத்திலே இருக்கு. அதையே மீறி வருகிறார்கள் என்று சொன்னால், அம்பேத்கர் கொண்டு வந்த வயிறு வலிக்குது, வாய் கூட வலிக்கல,
இவங்க வக்கீல், அவங்களுக்கே வயிறு வலிக்குது பாவம்
என்பதை வலியுறுத்தி மிக அற்புதமாக அவருடைய கருத்துக்களை பதிவு செய்த வழக்குரைஞர் சிபிராஜ் அவர்களுக்கும், பகுத்தறிவு என்பது ஒன்றை வைத்து ஒன்றை விளக்கும் நுண்ணறிவாகும், அதாவது தூரத்திலிருந்து புகையை கண்டு தீ விபத்து என அறிவது போன்றதுதான் பகுத்தறிவு என்பதை பதிவு செய்த சபீர் முகமது அவர்களுக்கும், இந்திய அரசியலமைப்பு சட்டத்தில் 1976 கொண்டு வந்த 51AH 42வது அந்த திருத்த சட்டத்தின் முக்கியத்தை பற்றி பதிவு செய்த பாபு பெத்வான் அவர்களுக்கும், உஷா பட்வால் அவர்களுக்கும், வழக்குரைஞர் ஸ்வப்னா சுந்தர் அவர்களுக்கும், நல்லையன் நடராஜன் அவர்களுக்கும், மனித வளர்ச்சிக்கு பெரியார் நேற்றும் இன்றும் நாளையும் என்றும் தேவை என்பதை பதிவு செய்த ஆறுமுகம் அவர்களுக்கும் மற்றும் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை சிறப்பாக ஒருங்கிணைத்த அத்துணை தோழர்களுக்கும் நன்றி பாராட்டி ஒரே ஒரு கவிதையோடு என்னுடைய உரையை நிறைவு செய்கிறேன். பம்பரமும் ஓய்வு பெறும் சுற்றிய பின், இவரோ படுகிழமாய் போன பின்னும் பம்பரமாய் சுற்றி வந்தார். எரிமலையாய், சுடுதழலாய், இயற்கை கூத்தாய், எதிர்ப்புகளை நடுங்க வைக்கும் இடி ஒளியாய், இன உணர்வு தீப்பந்த பேரொளியாய், இழிவுகளை தீர்த்து கட்டும் கொடுவாளாய், இறைவனுக்கே மறுப்பு சொன்ன இங்கர் சாலாய், எப்பொழுதும் பேசுகின்ற ஏத்தன்ஸ் நகர் சாக்ரட்டிஸாய், ஏன் என்று கேட்பதிலே வைர நெஞ்ச வாழ்த்தேராய், எம் தந்தை பெரியாரும் வாழ்ந்திட்டார் என்றார் திராவிட மாடல் ஆட்சிக்கு அடித்தளமிட்ட முத்தமிழறிஞர் டாக்டர் கலைஞர் என்று கூறி வாய்ப்புக்கு நன்றி பாராட்டி விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
இந்த ஆய்வரங்கத்தை பொறுத்தளவிலே நிறைவாக இந்த அமர்வு நடைபெற்று முடிவடைந்திருக்கிறது. இதில் ஆய்வரங்க கட்டுரைகள் சமர்ப்பித்த தோழர்களுக்கு சான்றிதழ் வழங்கப்பட உள்ளது. அவர்களை பாராட்டி அதற்காக மும்பையிலிருந்து வருகை தந்துள்ள திராவிடர் கழகத்தின் தலைவர் கணேசன் அவர்களையும் பகுத்தறிவாளர் கழகத்தின் தலைவர் பொறியாளர் ரவிச்சந்திரன் அவர்களையும் மேடைக்கு அழைக்கின்றோம். அது பேர் வாசிச்சிருக்கேன். அன்புமணி அருள் கூர்ந்து அன்புமணியை ஒருத்தவங்க சர்டிஃபிகேட் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். ஒரு சால்வை எடுத்துருங்க அவர்கிட்ட, அவங்க போடட்டும். சால்வையை போட்டு சர்டிஃபிகேட் கொடுத்து ரவி சால்வை ஒருத்தவங்க சால்வை போடுங்க சர்டிஃபிகேட். இருங்க ஒவ்வொன்றா முடிக்கும். இளவரசி சங்கர் அவர்கள், the next Parvin Rita, Mr. Somasundaram from Rationalist Forum, Tamil Nadu. Sabir Muhammad. Babu Pitawan from Kerala. Lawyer Swapna Sundar. Nallayan Nadarajan from Puducherry. The next is Madam Usha Patwal from Uttarakhand. Mr. Armugham from Periyar Maniammai Institute of Science and Technology, deemed University, Vallam, Tanjavur. All the paper presenters may join for the right. இது தேஷ்முக்கா அவங்களாம் வரல. இது கொஞ்சம் 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 இருங்க, கொஞ்சம் இருங்க. One person. Sir, Sibiraja. Right. ஒன்று தானே? இன்னொரு பேருங்க? Now we are requesting Mr. Sibiraj to come and receive the certificate. Kunja, please. Done. Sibiraj, done. Then Brain Adam John. Now I request all the paper presenters to come for now all of you join together for a photograph by putting your shawl with shawl and certificate. Yeah. Join photo. Please come. I read it. Sorry. Now I request the General Secretary of the Rationalist Forum, Tamil Prabhakaran, to felicitate the chairperson of the session, Dr. R. Gaudaman. Next, Mr. Mari Karunanidhi, the Secretary of the Art and Cultural Wing of Rationalist Forum, felicitate the Presidium Chairman of Dravidian and Aryan, Advocate K.Veeramani. Please go on here. Mr. Tamil Prabhakaran will felicitate the Vice President of the Rationalist Forum, Professor Dr. M.S. Kanmani.
தள்ளி போங்க கொஞ்சம் எடுத்துக்கோமா.
அன்று முதல் இன்று வரை பகுத்தறிவாளர் கழகத்தில் எங்களை என்றும் வழிநடத்தும் எங்கள் பொருளாளர் ஐயா குமரேசன் ஐயா அவர்களுக்கு எங்கள் சார்பாக வாழ்த்து.
No, I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no, I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over
மாநாட்டு நிகழ்ச்சிகள் நிறைவு பெறவில்லை. FIRA அமைப்பின் செயற்குழு கூட்டம் நடந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறது. அவர்கள் வந்ததற்கு பின்பாக நிறைவு நிகழ்ச்சி தீர்மானங்கள் நிறைவேற்றம் அனைத்தும் அது மேலும் இந்த ஆய்வரங்கத்திலே படிக்கப்பட்ட கட்டுரைகள் பற்றிய குறிப்பு நிறைவுரை அனைத்தும் நிகழ இருக்கின்றன. அருள் கூர்ந்து அதுவரை காத்திருக்கும்படி அன்புடன் கேட்டுக்கொள்கிறோம். நிகழ்ச்சி முடியவில்லை என்பதை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கிறோம்.
Hello? Hello? What? No, how you can give it? You are presented, so it's for you. Okay? Hello? All delegates of the conference
are requested to be in the hall. I request all of the participants to be seated in the hall. Someone has to go there and
தோழர்களே, மிக முக்கியமான அறிவிப்புகள் வெளியிடப்பட இருப்பதால் அன்பு கூர்ந்து அனைத்து தோழர்களும் அரங்கத்துக்கு வந்து அமருமாறு கேட்டுக்கொள்ளப்படுகிறார்கள். மாநாட்டினுடைய மிக முக்கியமான முடிவுகளை மாநாட்டினுடைய ஏற்பாட்டாளர்கள் இப்பொழுது அறிவிக்க இருக்கிறார்கள். எனவே தோழர்கள் அன்பு கூர்ந்து இருக்கையில் அமர்ந்து சிறப்பிக்குமாறு கேட்டுக்கொள்கின்றோம். மாநாடு இன்னும் நிறைவு பெறவில்லை. எனவே தோழர்கள் அன்பு கூர்ந்து மேடைக்குள் அரங்கத்துக்குள் வந்து அமர்ந்து நிகழ்வை சிறப்பாக்கி தருமாறு அன்புடன் கேட்டுக்கொள்கின்றோம். தோழர்களே, மாநாடு இன்னும் நிறைவு பெறவில்லை. மாநாட்டின் முக்கிய முடிவுகளை தீர்மானங்களை இப்பொழுது அறிவிக்க இருக்கிறார்கள். எனவே தோழர்கள் அன்பு கூர்ந்து அரங்கத்திற்குள் அமர்ந்து சிறப்பிக்குமாறு கேட்டுக்கொள்ளப்படுகிறார்கள்.
Dear friends, still conference is not completed. Can you please be seated? And the important decisions going to be taken over here in this committee meeting. Can you please, comrades, please be seated. Dear FIRA comrades, I request everyone to be seated, please.
மாநாட்டின் நிறைவு நிகழ்ச்சி தொடங்க இருக்கிறது. எனவே I invite all the executive members of PRA to the stage. Mr. Tamil Chelvan, President of Rationalist Forum, and other EC members are welcome to the stage. The valedictory session of FIRA 13th National Conference is now started. Delegates, please come inside. அனைத்து தோழர்களுக்கும் அன்பான வேண்டுகோள். மாநாட்டு நிறைவு நிகழ்ச்சி நடைபெற இருப்பதால் வெளியிலே நின்றிருக்கக்கூடிய தோழர்கள் அன்பு கூர்ந்து அரங்கத்துக்குள் வந்து அமருமாறு கேட்டுக்கொள்ளப்படுகிறார்கள். மிஸ்டர் மீனாட்சி சுந்தரம் சார், ப்ளீஸ் கம் டு த ஸ்டேஜ். மாநாட்டு நிறைவு நிகழ்ச்சி நடைபெற இருக்கிறது. எனவே தோழர்கள் அரங்கத்துக்குள் வந்து அமருமாறு கேட்டுக்கொள்ளப்படுகிறார்கள். The valedictory session of the conference is now started, please. Delegates, please come inside and cooperate with the team. தோழர்கள் அன்பு கூர்ந்து அரங்கத்துக்குள் வாருங்கள். மாநாட்டு நிறைவு நிகழ்ச்சி தொடங்க இருக்கிறது. மிக சிறப்பாக இந்த 2 நாட்கள் நடைபெற்ற 13வது இந்திய பகுத்தறிவாளர்களின் கூட்டமைப்பு நிகழ்வுகள் குறித்த ஒரு பார்வையை நம்முடைய பகுத்தறிவு எழுத்தாமட்டத்தினுடைய துணைத் தலைவர் ஐயா செயலாளர் மரியாதைக்குரிய பாவலர் மீனா சுந்தரம் அவர்கள் இப்பொழுது வழங்க இருக்கிறார்கள். உங்கள் சார்பாக அன்போடு வரவேற்கிறோம்.
Good evening. Good evening to you all. So we are coming to the second session, valedictory session. As one of the coordinator of this successfully conducted conference of FIRA, I am standing before you to give a very brief report about the conference. I will not take much of your time. I know I cannot talk to the chairs. If I continue, the people who are sitting here, you also will go. Almost we started the process. Before that, let me salute you. Mr. Narendra Nayak, President, FIRA, Mr. Goderao, Sudesh Goderao ji, Secretary, General Secretary, FIRA, Mr. Tamil Chelvan, President, Rationalist Forum, and all the dignitaries of the dais. Good evening to you all. Almost 2.5 months. On 13th October, we started registering the delegates for this August conference. Almost 2.5 months. It was very hard work. Our team met many times, discussed the issues, and today all our plans were implemented, and you all, many people congratulated us for the successfully conducted conference. Still we feel some rooms are left out where we could have improved our performance. Definitely, it's a lesson for us. Kindly, I must thank all the delegates, particularly the delegates from the outstation delegates who stayed in the dormitory hall. I should thank them with all the inconvenience, whatever it may be. Finally, when I went and every day when I go and meet them with smiling faces, they say, "Sir, we are comfortable, you don't worry." Really, I salute those people, I salute those comrades who cooperated well with us, and whatever may be the problem, they took it in the right spirit. They took it in the right spirit, and they don't want to pass any wrong comments which may discourage us. On the contrary, they are praising us. You made this wonderful arrangement. Thank you very much. So my sincere thanks, first sincere thanks to all the comrades who stayed in the dormitory accommodation arrangement. Thank you very much. Totally 851 delegates got registered for this conference. It's a fantastic achievement. When starting the work, I asked our General Secretary, Mr. Goderao, to get me a copy of the last Punjab conference attendance list, so that let me have a look who are all attending the conference, so that I can call upon them, I can communicate with them, ask them to register the delegate. It was hardly 160 delegates registered for the online. 160 delegates registered online for the Punjab conference. I am proudly saying, for this Trichurapalli conference, 676 delegates registered themselves through online Google form, which is really a all-time, 4-time multifold increase over the last time performance. Out of 851, amongst 90 absentees were there, and 106 were there, the spot registration. Very good. Well, one interesting thing I want to tell, I am capturing all the data in the Google form to the Excel sheet, and two of our friends from the Punjab, I saw the Google form, I was capturing when they are arriving Chennai, Trichy, what is the mode of arrival? By which mode they are reaching the Trichy? One gentleman, he put scooty. He put scooty. He will come to Trichy by scooty. I got annoyed. This fellow is sarcastically he put a scooty. Another gentleman, but both are doctorate holder, doctors. And he put a bike. Then I told Tamil Selvan, sir, what they are doing, when we are sincerely asking what is the mode of transport, one person is telling scooty, another person is telling bike, what is this, Kariki? Then he told, cool down, really they are coming by the bike from the Punjab. Today, I congratulate Mr. Harinder Ladi and Rajaram Kandiya. They came all the way from Punjab, they attended the conference. Now tomorrow they are leaving to Madurai, Rameswaram, then to Ooty, from there Mysore, Bangalore, then again they will go back to Punjab. Really, it was quite interesting. I met them also. Really, thank you very much, Mr. Harinder Lali. And another thing, I want to place it on record. It is not only one person job. 756 people, through the Google form, they registered their delegation. Many people find it very difficult, particularly. So, there are volunteers from many centers who helped. They connected the people. So, we found out, when I feel they are comfortable, I talk to them. I told to help us. Immediately, they talk to the people, collect the application, and they filled up, they remit the money through the Google Pay. I want to replace it on record. Mr. Nadarajan from Perambalur, he submitted almost 42 applications through the Google form, and now for coming for the conference, he arranged a bus and cake. Likewise, Mr. Sivamurthy from the Ariyalur, Mr. Ramesh from Neeramangalam, Pavalar Ponnarasu from Tanjavur, Nanda Kumar, Revadi from Kanjipuram, Veerapandiya Kattapomman and Vellai Pandi from Tirunelveli, Dr. Anburaja from Lalgudi, Sivagangai Muthukumar and Dharmapuri Mr. Sendil Kumar. I salute you all the volunteers because but for your committed work, we could not have achieved this number 756. And certain small statistics, total people registered 675. Out of 675, 500 people came from Tamil Nadu. The host state, from the host state, 500 people. Tamil Nadu irundhu mattum 675 பங்கேற்பாளர்களிலே 500 பங்கேற்பாளர்கள் தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருந்து வந்து இங்கே கலந்து கொண்டுள்ளார்கள். தந்தை பெரியாரின் அந்த கருஞ்சட்டை படை சேனைக்கு, the Black Shirt Brigade, I salute you. உங்களால் தான் இந்த மாநாடு வெற்றி அடைந்தது என்று சொல்ல வேண்டும். அதற்கு அடுத்தபடியாக I say it's a big thing to come from Uttarakhand. 13 people came from Uttarakhand, all the way from the Himalaya to the Trichy. 21 people from AP, 26 from Kerala, from Maharashtra, 19 from Odisha, Puducherry 11, but all other states are single-digit states. Really, I salute you, all the delegates who came here and who supported here. And I should fail in my duty if I don't mention that technology support rendered by the Mr. Kevin of Kevin Digital Services Private Limited from Chennai. He was right from the beginning designing the Google form. He was supporting us, interacting with us. Whenever we say whatever improvements we ask, immediately he does it. Finally, for sending the WhatsApp messages, creating the WhatsApp group, Mr. Kavin, he played a stellar role. I should thank him, Mr. Kavin. Finally, I should thank Tamilar Talaivar Asiriyar, Dr. K.Veeramani, and Mr. Tamil Chelvan, President Pagutarivalar Kadagam, for making me as one of the coordinators for this August conference and given me an opportunity. I should thank for the opportunity given. I thank all the delegates who cooperated very patiently, remained patiently to hear me, and who cooperated during the process of registration during the last 2.5 months. Thank you very much, one and all. See you in the next conference. Bye.
Now that we have had the feedback from the organizers, we would like the delegates to come and kindly give us their feedback. You can speak briefly for 2 to 3 minutes and let us know what was the feedback for this meeting. You can please come.
Jai Insan. Friends, today we have got new body of FIRA. Now they are also conducting the meeting. Congratulations to Narendra Naik ji being elected again as president, and Dr. Sudhe Ghoderao, General Secretary, and actually the thanks to, all the thanks goes to the organizers, Sundaran, who has given the good picture that what he has felt. Actually, when we contacted him, when we hurriedly contacting that, sir, it is happening. Okay, no problem. He is by a cool voice. Definitely, those who are aggravated and who is becoming angry, so suddenly they are becoming cool down. So that is the good character of our the Mr. Sundaran. So Meenakshi Sundaram. So that is the, and we have also conducted 9th FIRA conference in our Odisha, that Berhampur. I have come 3 times, and it is quite new for me because digitalization of this different programs, that is attracted me, and it is also, we have to follow the traditionally what we are following, that giving the small paper and reading that is not also sufficient. So the proper documentation is also required for this. For our organization, for President and Secretary, I am requesting for documentation is also required for further improvement of our mental conditions of the delegates, that should be provided to each one. Here, food, staying, and everything is very satisfactory. Not only satisfactory, it is excellent one. Every time, that is uninterruptedly, the teas, snacks, and that lunch, and it is going on. So everyone, I think I am, on behalf of, I can say that we are quite satisfied with this conference, and we hope the next conferences should also in this way, because it may or may not be, but here there are so many facilities are there, because it is an institution, educational institutions, so they have support of students, they have support of different, and DK also, which has given support, moral support for this organization to conduct. So they have also good support. And moreover, that initiations by our Veeramani, he is 92 years old, lectures definitely beat the hearts of our each and everyone, that they definitely, that should be provided. His sayings, his lectures should be provided to each delegates so that they can tell their comrades in the field also. So that will be helpful. So please look into this matter. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
இந்த 2 நாள் மாநாட்டை 2 மாதமாக ஒருங்கிணைத்த எங்களுக்கு இருந்த சுமையெல்லாம் நீக்கிய இந்த எங்களுடைய ஒருங்கிணைப்பாளர் ஐயா மீனாட்சி சுந்தரம் அவர்களுக்கு எங்களுடைய பொருளாளர் ஐயா குமரேசன் அவர்கள் சிறப்பு செய்யும்படி அன்போடு அழைக்கிறோம்.
Thank you. This is Jamula Suresh from Humanist Rationalist Organization, Odisha, one of our